Taxi. I've never heard anything really bad about Taxi. I haven't heard any bad experiences. I've heard some cool experiences. I don't know enough about Taxi. I never used Taxi for anything when I was mainly spending my time on the label or management. PumpAudio, I'm going to answer the other question about some of the better sites. PumpAudio is a big one, and they're enormous, and I think their commissions are pretty reasonable still. Song Catalog is another one. I really like their database from both the music supervision side and from the artist side. And these sites are really cool. People put in sounds like, or we're looking for something that sounds like, or we're looking for a love song that references the bedroom, or we're looking for a metal song that talks about traveling in Europe. I mean, you might be like, holy shit, I have that song. Like, I actually wrote that song. And when you feel like, all right, we're going to get that placement. And it turns out there's actually 50 metal bands that have written songs about touring or spending time in Europe. So but it's so in depth, and there's so many ways to plug your song, and there's so many ways for us on the other side to filter and find that song. So back to the list, PumpAudio, Song Catalog. Downtown Music doesn't have a database yet, but they're a huge label, and they're also a huge publisher now, and they also do quite a bit of placements for outside artists. I'm trying to think of one that we recently had that experience with, but I would not recommend them anyway, because you don't even know you got a placement. But start with Song Catalog and Pump, and then hit me up, and more will come, but I know those are ones that I use on both sides of the transaction. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. We could probably talk on this panel for another 2 hours easily, but we got to move on to the next panel. So I want to close by having each one of you, from the perspective of what you do, give the one most critical thing that you think that unsigned artists should do to help further their career.
Know who you are. If you do not know who you are, you are dead in the water. And what I mean by that is, do not make the mistake of living vicariously through your other artists or acts that you admire. You get lost in them, you give away your power. You should use your brain your mind as a filter in what works for you as a vocalist. Speaking from that, that's what I do every day. I work with vocalists every day. Know who you are as a vocalist. And remember, I said this, a great voice will always be admired. An interesting voice will always be remembered. You want to be interesting. Interesting stands out a lot more than sheer vocal prowess. So make sure you understand who you are as a vocalist, and the way to do that is just be yourself. Allow your influences to influence you, and have the presence of mind, and make sure your passion never overrides your reason.
And I'll continue along that and just say, not only know who you are, know who your demographic is, know who you're selling to. It's just like any other business, treat it like a business, know exactly what your people want, and give them that. You can't go wrong.
I'm going to be redundant and say don't be a dick, treat people well. Network, get to know people, and I'll come back to you. And honestly, it's like full circle. I mentioned some people, like some of the people that I still work with on countless projects to this day are people that have come out of FMF, and just relationships and being around. We all have our flaws as individuals, but if you're an asshole, that's a big flaw to get over. And if you're a drunk asshole, like that, there's nothing wrong with being drunk, but if you're the guy and like you treat someone like crap the next day when you're cohesive and trying to be cool, it's like, no, I remember you were a dick last night, and I have no interest in that. So just treat people well, and again, if you're inherently an asshole, then I think you're gonna have a tough time. So that's just my opinion.
I mean, I think I'm gonna stay with the theme up here. My mom taught me since I was a kid, you treat the janitor and the CEO the same, you treat everyone with kindness and respect. She said, besides the fact that it's the right thing to do, the same people that you step on your way up are going to step on you on your way down. As artists, work on your craft. There's so many people out there that are worried, they want to become rock stars, they don't want to be musicians. They don't practice 3, 4, 5 hours a day anymore. Work on your craft, work on your songs, go out, play as many shows as you can, try to build a regional base, gig swap, whether you're playing for 500 people or 5 people, go rock the shit out of it, because you never know if one of those 5 people are the club booker, a label guy, a producer, or whomever, who might be really impressed with your energy because you love doing what you're doing.
That's pretty much what I was going to say. I will add this. I will add that if you don't take it as seriously as anything you've ever taken in your entire life, it will not happen for you. I'm telling you, I'm looking you dead in the face. You have to eat royal shit in this business. And I'm not trying to sugarcoat it. I'm not trying to make it sound pretty. Touring sucks balls. It's the worst. But there's nothing more rewarding than taking that song that you finally got right and standing on a stage and delivering that song exactly how it should be to the people who are waiting to hear it, and having that applause and that person come up to you after and say, that's the best song I've ever heard. Nothing will beat that. And what you're chasing right now is that. Nothing will satisfy that until you find that. So dig in. Every arm, leg, finger, everything you have should be clawing forward. And like I told him, if your band's not on your team and they're not all pulling their weight, you got to find somebody else. And if they're not all 100% sold and ready to do it, then that's probably not going to work. None of this happens on accident. We tripped and fell and played a song at Walmart, and there was a record label guy there. That doesn't happen. You have to be in the right place. Your Facebook has to be full of shows. Your schedule has to be full. People are looking at all this now. A&R people are not dumb. They're very, 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 very smart people. And they're studying numbers, and they're studying your behavior by what you have on your website and what you have on your Facebook and how many shows you guys are doing and how the people are responding to the songs you put up and how the people are commenting on your posts and if they're looking at your videos or commenting on your videos. All of that is important. Take it 100% seriously. Go for it. I want to see you do it. Heck, come to me, I'll help you. And any of these people up here are accessible. Anybody would help you and talk to you. Just reach out. And the more you learn and the more you know, the better off you're going to be. So I applaud you guys for being here and trying to figure out what it's going to take and taking the steps. I mean, I never had this as a musician. There was no conference. There wasn't even an internet. I had to go hand out flyers in high schools and the mall. So the fact of the matter is, it's set up right now for you to start this and you to take your songs and watch it come from a post on the internet to a hit song. You can watch it happen. I have bands that come to me all the time that are watching this happen. They're watching it happen with their careers. They're now getting, hey, we're getting $1,000 guarantee at these shows. We're getting $5,000 guarantees to these corporate things. That can happen for you. Just believe it. And sell yourself on that you're going to do it. Commit however long you're willing to put in there. And don't be sad when the first attempt doesn't work. Just keep going. Because nothing else is going to satisfy it. It will not go away. I can tell you that. I chased it for a long time. I still want to go on tour with my new songs. It's never going to stop. So do yourself a favor while you're young. Really dedicate. Really put your face into it and go forward.